Every choice you make from now until you die will become absolutely clear to you in the last few seconds of your life.
Bonjour à tous. Aujourd'hui, je fais un grand sourire comme Geoffrey Clostrio de la Maison Close me l'a demandé pour débuter mes vidéos. Et non, je fais pas toujours la gueule. On va parler de Guillermo del Toro. Il a donné une superbe masterclass au BIF il y a quelques années. Si je reviens avec ça aujourd'hui, c'est parce que dans quelques jours, il va avoir la masterclass de Danny Boyle, une autre référence du cinéma mondial, de nouveau au BIF. Et on y sera. En attendant, je vous laisse Guillermo del Toro vous expliquer sa croyance pour les fantômes. Il vient du Mexique et apparemment c'est assez courant là-bas. Et également chanter sa petite chanson du BIF. A tout de suite.
I'm Mexican, and I've seen I heard two ghosts, and I saw one UFO. I'm screwed. When I was a kid, I used to pee on the bed because I had lucid dreamings, which means you wake up in the room you wake up in the dream, and you are in the room that you're sleeping, so it looks real. There were monsters in the room. One time I saw a goat man behind an armoire. I would look at the shaggy rod, and they would be fingers waiting to pull me down. I saw a creature in the corner of the room, and it was moving, and I would stay in the bed and pee. And my mother would punish me, and one night I did stand on the bed on my crib, and I said, if you let me go to the bathroom, I will be your friend for the rest of my life. And they disappeared for a long time. I saw them again like 3-4 years later, but I was able to pee at leisure.
Vous avez pu l'entendre, il est vraiment sérieux à propos de ces histoires de fantômes. On ne plaisante pas avec les fantômes au Mexique. Maintenant, Guillermo del Toro, il adore les contes de fées, les fairy tales.
And one of the main libraries is fairy tales and mythology. And there's a couple of bookshelves complete of pure fairy lore. You know, I have a book called Great Goblins of Britain. I have another one that is amazing called The Science of Fairy Tale. I have an analysis of the fairy lore of the north of Ireland, blah, blah, blah. And I read everything because what is fascinating is the Celtic lore of fairies starts in Spain or goes through Europe, through Spain, into the UK.
J'ai résumé ce passage, mais Guillermo del Toro est vraiment passionné par les fairy tales, les contes de fées. Il explique que plusieurs de ses films ont repris des éléments de narration typiques des contes de fées, comme la règle de 3 ou le Fairy Banquet. Donc ça, il va vous l'expliquer lui-même. Et ensuite, on revient pour parler de certains de ses films.
I studied the rule of 3, which is you should always have 3 female figures, 3 choices, 3 tasks. For some reason, the fairy tale is organized like that. 3 doors, one of which you should open, 3 gates, blah, blah, blah. 3 castles, 3 servants, 3 sisters, 3 little pigs, whatever you want. It's a rule that sounds completely ancient. And then I followed conventions, like there is a convention called the Fairy Banquet, in which the hero is told, you will see a sumptuous banquet, you shall not eat anything. And of course the hero eats something, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I made those notes in my notebook, I read all those books. I was a month alone in Spain just writing them, and then I did write the story.
Après, il nous parle d'un autre élément important qu'il aime utiliser et qui vient des fairy tales, des contes de fées. C'est le power to declare. Et ça nous permet de faire la transition entre le labyrinthe de Pan et Pacific Rim.
From Picture House and the imagination of Guillermo del Toro. In darkness, there can be light. In misery, there can be beauty.
When we're doing Pan's Labyrinth, if it was a normal script, you would see the girl reading all the time. You would see the girl coming to a library and discovering the books and saying basically, oh, I love books, I love reading. And the stepfather would burn her books. You will not read again. And the way I do it is I show that she has read books, and then I show that she has a huge imagination by telling a story to her unborn brother. That's it. I'm not gonna ever again tell you that she's read a lot, but the normal screenplay would take you by the hand.
You have to accept immediately.
Yeah, you have to. And the other thing I do is a thing that comes from the fairy tale, that the fairy tale has many rules and many things to be learned. One of them is called the power to declare. The power to declare is this. Once upon a time there was a princess living on top of a glass mountain, and she couldn't be saved by any prince born of man. Why? Because that's the way the story goes. Shut the fuck up. That's it. And in Pacific Rim, in the first 3 minutes, I tell you, this is the world. Giant monsters, giant robots. I'm not going to set up the world. The movie I'm going to give you is the sequel of a movie that has not happened. I don't want to set up how they invent the robot, how the first monster comes through. Oh my God, no, kill me now. I wanted to tell you, so I tell you, this is the world.
And the design is amazing.
The design should tell you they're real. But a lot of people will never go in, and I know that, and that's fine. But a lot of, the way I write the movies, a lot of people need the other stuff. But if you watch the movie again, I give you everything you need in the movie if you watch it carefully.
The end of our time. We've chosen to believe in each other. The day we face the monsters that are at our door.
But look, here's the thing. You drive the car you drive because you like it. And a lot of people will say, that's an ugly car, you don't give a shit. I dress horrible. But I like my clothes and I feel comfortable. What do I care? I make my movies, and then if I'm lucky, I get another one. But I don't try to, when I do Pacific Rim, I say, if you like what Abraham Lincoln had a great saying. Yes. For the people that like this type of thing, this is the type of thing they're gonna like. That's my movies.
Dans la prochaine section de cette vidéo, 2 gros films. On aborde brièvement Mimic, mais surtout Blade 2 en fait.
The action I had done on Mimic was comparably very small, but in Mimic there is a set piece that is beautiful, that is entirely planned and shot by me and is gorgeous. Is the attack to the subway car by the insect, where they slice it in half. And to learn how to fragment between the attack, I saw Straw Dogs, Sam Peckinpah, yeah. But to do Blade 2, I went and I tried to teach myself action. I got all the dailies from Steve Norrington's Blade, all the dailies, and I watched every piece of film he ever did for that movie. So I knew all his shots. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do it different now. Now that I know how he did it, I'm gonna do it differently. And he did a few 4-camera setups, and on one of the scenes I did a 13-camera setup, in which all the 13 cameras were coordinated to use exactly the moment where the camera crossed one and another. And I learned how to shoot action, and I studied the old, the classic Kung Fu movies and the modern masters. Yeah, it was Iron Monkey 2, was very recent, Legend of Fong Sai-yuk. And I saw how it was shot differently than Western. And I then talked to my editor who had got Dragon, and he said, some of the fights you should shoot so we can go to 22 frames. There were moments I looked for the big gesture. Like there's a moment where Wesley hits a guy and his coat folds over the guy's arm, and I cut it double. It goes on the white shirt and on the close-up again, 2 times. Or you do one punch and you don't wait for continuity. You go straight to the other punch, first frame. So it's like a 1-2 that is super fast, blah, blah, blah. I learned all the rules, and then I said, okay, now I'm gonna make an insane action movie. and I said, I went to Wesley, and I said, Wesley, I don't understand Blade, because if I was Blade, I would live with the vampires, and I would say, fuck you to the humans, you know? But if you take care of Blade, I will shoot you like a god, and I will make my movie the story of the vampires. Because I like Nomak more than I like Blade. You shoot, when you run out of ammo, you have 2 blades. And he looked at it, and this is a beautiful lesson. He said to me, it's too good. And I said, what do you mean? He said, Blade is not Batman. It's not about the equipment, the hardware. It's about the guy. I run out of bullets, I have my fist, I have my legs. We should never make it about the car or the weapons, it's about the guy. And I thought that's a brilliant way of doing it. And you know, it was really, he was very, very aware of Blade. He was very much Blade. And I tell you what he did that nobody else has done. He always landed in a superhero pose. Every time he walked into a room, got up, it was absolute superhero language.
Comme je vous l'ai expliqué en début de vidéo, cette masterclass date déjà d'il y a quelques années. C'était au BIF en 2018 quand il avait gagné l'Oscar pour La forme de l'eau. Et donc, il parle forcément de son dernier film pour lequel il a gagné un Oscar, La forme de l'eau, et de sa relation avec Sally. Et il y a 2-3 anecdotes de tournage bien croustillantes. Je ne sais pas s'il en a parlé ailleurs.
So when I pitched Shape of Water, I had commissioned drawings and a maquette of the creature, and I pitched it with all those aids, visual aids to have people understood that when I said the creature and her get it on, the creature could be seen.
She deaf?
Mute, sir. She can hear you.
You clean that lab, you get out.
This may very well be the most sensitive asset ever to be housed in this facility.
You may think that thing looks human. Stands on 2 legs, right? But
The top of the stairs, when Sally comes out, and we see the fire in the distance, and we come down with her, and okay, we start with the drone, and the wind is so bad that the drone flies away to another town. The guy said, where's the drone? I don't know. This is the night. We have one night, because they were not going to give us permission to come back ever. I say, okay, let's put Sally up, and we put a crane. We put the crane, and Sally goes up, and I get the radio. Sally says that she's afraid of heights. I go, yeah, she didn't realize it until now, but she really is scared shitless of the height. So I had to convince Sally and say, please, please, once, come down. But she has to come out like she loves life. Come down the steps. And it's take 1, and that's the take that you see in the movie. And it starts raining. So we have only one take. Okay, I say, fine, let's do the next scene. And I had scouted to do a shot of her coming down the steps looking for the creature and a low crane, but I couldn't use the techno because there was a post here. So I said, let's postpone that until the end of the day. The DP says, one more, just to make it safe, and I go, okay. So Shannon, second take, drives the car, puts the car in stop. He neglected to tell us that he didn't normally drive in Chicago. He fails to put the car in park and leaves it in drive. The car continues moving without him. He realizes his mistake and runs to the car, and the car drags him through the rain, 20 meters, and is coming straight for me and my crew in the video assist. And the car breaks through a post, destroys it, and is coming for us, and everybody says, run! And I think I've run in my life once. Once. In Crimson Peak, when I was going to get killed by a flying silk. And I say, I'm not going to run, So the car stops, crashes on another post and stops. And everybody says, what a horrible thing, this is a disaster. Shannon is almost crying in a corner, and I say, he broke the post that was in the way, let's do the other shot.
Si ça vous a plu, on vous donne rendez-vous très bientôt au BIF pour la masterclass de Danny Boyle qui promet d'être exceptionnelle. On espère qu'on aura des nouvelles aussi d'un projet qui me tenait fort à cœur. C'est celui entre Issa Lopez et Guillermo del Toro. Cette même année au BIF, lors de sa masterclass, ils s'étaient rencontrés. Et j'avais eu l'interview d'Issa Lopez, qui avait gagné le prix du public pour Tigers Are Not Afraid, une autre réalisatrice mexicaine connue mondialement. Et il y avait vraiment un projet qui était né de cette rencontre. On parlait d'un cow-boy zombie ou une sorte de film d'horreur western qui allait les faire collaborer ensemble. C'était en 2019, puis Covid, et depuis, plus moyen d'avoir des nouvelles sur ce projet. Est-ce que ça va redémarrer un jour? On ne sait pas. En tout cas, vu le talent des deux réalisateurs et leur côté barré, nous on adore le cinéma mexicain et tant mieux si ça repart.
That we are trapped in a space and a time, and our life is ending, is flawed. I was with a friend the other day having breakfast, and he is incredibly rich. And I was talking and I said, you know, the only thing you cannot make is more time. We wake up every day poorer than the day before. You know, so that's why if my choices for movies are not clear to people, or people say, why is he making that movie that I didn't like? Well, you know, but I did like it. I wanted to make it, and that's it.